Well, I said it could have been the end of the road there for SC Absolute on Keish, and it very nearly was. Benkai, almost the hero for Boot Dreamscape, almost closes it out 2-0, or at least forces it to overtime, which, well, then who knows what could have happened. But
yeah,
in the end, SC Absolute have enough for the 16-14 there on Keish. It's the second time they've been able to do that against Boot Dreamscape in just 3 days, so that's a good sign.
Like their kryptonite in a way, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, to be honest, their CT sides, they look pretty lackluster.
Yeah.
Needs to be fixed for both teams, really. But the T side from Boot, it just seems so hit and miss, so hot and cold.
Yeah, it was like when it was working, but as soon as something went wrong,
yeah,
they didn't really have any way to dig themselves out. They had nothing to fall back onto, no plan B.
Yeah, no plan B, which means the plan A was kind of like a fluke. It was just like, we're going to do what we want to do, and if the other team stops it, they stop it, like whatever. It wasn't like the other team's doing this, so we're going to do this. And that's when the wheels fall off. As soon as one round doesn't go your way, then the other team gets a read on what you're doing, and well, you saw what happened.
Definitely getting a sense of deja vu here, I think, if you are Boot Dreamscape. We've got to remember that they did lose 2-1 to SC Absolute in the first round of the bracket, in the first round of these qualifiers, and now they've lost 16-14 another time on Keish. I mean, really, you're looking at this Mirage map and you're going, we lost 16-14 here as well. It was Inferno that they got the 16-13 win on. So, Boot Dreamscape, questions being asked now.
Yeah, I think you've got to put it down to this, right? Remember we were saying earlier in the first map, like, they're using Poem instead of Laz.
Yeah.
If Laz was here, this could actually have already been 2-0 to SC. So, for Poem to be stepping up and playing as well he is, like, credit to him.
Yep.
The rest of SC Absolute as well are playing very well. Crow, exactly, in the clutch situations. Bass as well towards the end of Cash, just finding pushes and map information wherever he could. And for me, it was more of a case of Boot just not delivering. It was Splashki and Benkai doing everything they could, but Impressions,
such
Tommy...
a difference. Like, from map 1 to map 2, Impression was absolutely destroying everything. And then on Keish, he couldn't manage to get a frag.
Yeah, and
so,
like I said, because they weren't working off what the enemy were doing, it was just hit or miss. And for this map on Mirage, you can't just go around with your head in the clouds. It's playing strat roulette. You have to be precise in your movements. You have to counter what the other team is doing perfectly.
Knife round probably going to be quite important here as well when we've spoken about how impactful the T side has been for both teams. Do you want to start on CT and kind of give yourself a goal for that T side, or do you want to start the map off with the momentum and potentially win off the second half pistol? You know, maybe you're up 10-5 or something like that. You get up to 13-5 and it's just a little bit too much to come back from.
I would definitely say Boot want to start T side. I think if they can do what they did on Inferno, then it won't be so hard for them to close it out. If they can get 10 rounds on their T side, 11 rounds, as soon as SC got 10 rounds on their T side, you were starting to think, well, this is a hard task now. They lost the pistol as well. They couldn't win an eco. It was almost game over from there. Sure, they brought it back a little bit, but that's one of those games where the scoreline kind of lies.
Splashki going to be very important here as well.
Of
Mirage.
course, yeah.
He's great on Keish.
Maybe Benkai will double AWP instead of Tommy.
Well,
who knows?
Yeah.
But the AWPs are doing a lot of work, and obviously in this high ping environment, that's great. So the more AWPers you get, the better. But at the same time, those hard rushes, they're hard to deal with as an AWPer.
You definitely want to be starting off strong here if you're, well, either of these two teams. And I think that was one of the major problems for Boot Dreamscape as well, is that Benkai didn't have an impact on Keish there at all, really, for...
Until the end.
Until the end.
The second half, he stood up.
Yeah, exactly. So if he would have been playing that kind of style, playing like that in the first half, could have resulted in maybe 1 or 2 more rounds. And that's really all that was needed. And you look back at so many rounds there and you think, well, what if Splashki hit that shot with the AWP?
Well,
what if Impression hit the player on the defuse with a headshot instead of a body shot?
Yep.
Those are 2 rounds that really did go begging for Boot Dreamscape and potentially could have changed the course of that entire series. It could have been a 2-0 for Boot Dreamscape.
Could be an entire different outcome. Absolutely. So coming into this one, though, I'm not sure what to expect from SC Absolute. No Laz. That's a big deal. But Rita's been doing okay, filling the shoes of the AWP.
Yeah.
But I just think, oh, here we go. So Boot DS on the CT side. Well, I don't know, mate.
I think you'd be looking for, say, 7 rounds here on the CT side, and you'd be feeling pretty happy with that.
It's going to come down to the pistol rounds, Jordan. Whoever wins both pistol rounds will win the map.
Oh, well, Impression getting binked up early there by a Glock. Has to fall back to bench, but still does have Tommy there for backup. No crossfire this time, though, for Boot Dreamscape, but Tommy doesn't care. He hits the shots anyway. 3 headshots out from Tommy. That'll be the pistol round the way of Boot Dreamscape. Great start. Looked dangerous. SC Absolute waterfalling into the site. Seemed like the perfect setup, especially after the headshot onto Impression, but I guess when you hit shots like that for Boot Dreamscape, they do pick up the round, and SC Absolute now forced back onto a forced buy.
Well, a forced buy indeed with Ro2 on the scout. They'll be looking for any sort of mistakes Boot can give. So Boot need to play measured here. And as I say, that Benkai will go for a mid pick, and he'll be in a 1 versus 2 situation. But his aim has been pretty crisp. Ro2 with a good headshot, trading him out there as well. But again, SC Absolute maybe overcommit a little bit too much based off 1 or 2 kills. And the crossfire comes out, and Boot really just get a bit of an easy mop in middle. Palm, the last hope, has armor as well. The bomb in T-spawn, an afterthought. But again, when SC Absolute get those 4v4 situations, they need to take stock and fall back. Instead, they overcommit, and they walk right into the arms of waiting Boot players. So, no bomb plant, yeah.
Yep. So, that's the real thing, isn't it? It's just a kind of a waiting game, really. It's a very, very hard matchup to call this one. You would have thought, as soon as you hear Laz not in the server for SC Absolute, Boot Dreamscape 2-0. Hasn't necessarily been the case. Boot have really struggled in these qualifiers. It's a bit of a mystery how things have been this poor for Boot Dreamscape over the past few weeks. But now, losing a couple of players to Palm there with just the Glock.
Yeah. What do you do? Well, you get the bomb down. And that's going to work wonders for the money of SC going into that next round. Reader doesn't even need to go too hard on this one. He's probably surprised how much time he had on that retake. But just the Glock still manages to get the bomb down. Good sign there for SC Absolute. Maybe Boot just getting a little bit overzealous, trying to hunt down those last remaining frags. In middle, losing a couple of weapons as well. That's an important factor when it comes to Mirage. Definitely a map where you need those rifles for the long ranges. You need your utility to delay pushes, to allow rotations to happen before site executes. And speak of the devil, let's just see if we get an execute straight off the bat from SC Absolute. It's what you would come to expect from Agent CS.
Well, what's Bobasaur doing in the A? I mean, he's still in CT spawn when the execute's coming out for SC Absolute. Not sure what's happened there, but he's really left Splashkey out to dry. And now the retake's going to have to come in for Boot Dreamscape. Benkai actually does get the backup there from Tommy. And she could have got that frag for himself anyway. And Bobasaur, looking to make amends, will do so. I think the frag in this round has looked a little bit better for Boot than I might have expected it would. Still, it's not over just yet. SC Absolute going to give this one their best crack. And Bass from Alice, very, very important. It's a good question. Impression is caught completely off guard.
Clock's ticking.
Certainly is. Tommy's going to get on top of that bomb, but player in connector can't land the spray down. All it needed was one headshot there, but it's going to be Boot to win that one. And Tommy gets the kill on to take.
How lucky can you be?
That was an absurd round.
That was just
on both sides.
Absolute pure luck there for Boot. I'm not sure what Benkai thought he was covering by just sitting in jungle while the rest of the team was trying to take the A site. I feel like Impressions died trying to clear out A ramp, despite the flashbangs coming out from Palace, because obviously, yeah, we knew the guy was in carpet, but whereas the other remaining player, they had no idea. And should someone have gone through that smoking connector, it would have been lights out for Boot. But now we find ourselves in a position where SC Absolute have purchased everything they can with their last remaining money from the last round, thanks to that bomb plant. Impressions going for the mid-air headshot with the M4. They've stopped the B execute, bombed back at the TV.
Benkai.
Yep, up to his usual tricks.
Nope, he's getting flanked by Ro2. Had no idea that mid was dirty. Perhaps he did, but just gambled on the fact that there wasn't going to be someone pushing up connector. 3v3, however, and Splashkey, this is an important duel for him to win. If he doesn't manage to connect this shot, the A bomb site completely opens up. And the timing, great work from Splashkey.
Wow.
That's what you got to expect if you're Bass.
Wow.
I mean, 9-0 as well, by the way.
Yep. Yep. Saw that when he got the kill through the smoke.
Finding me a little bit of
Last
Inferno.
night. Yeah. 10-0.
Go.
Bomb down in the sight. Well, there he goes. He's finally going to fall. Superman.
Great checks for impression, but doesn't check well enough.
I was going to say, I don't know about that dual impression.
Sacrifices some crucial seconds. But the bomb might just go down here. We will suspect that there's going to be a retake from jungle and almost lines up too. Impression does go down. Splashkey. That was dangerous.
Yeah, that was close. That was definitely close. Rita looks like an absolute gun sometimes.
Boot is not looking comfortable on this CT side, yet they're still up 5-0.
That's the retake. That's the thing. Mirage CT has many facets. You can be a great team at preventing executes coming in. You can be a great team at retaking. You can be a great team at having map control on the CT side. All three things will net you some rounds. And so far, the retakes have been spot on for Boot. The initial defense, not so much. Maybe need to work on that just a little bit, but that's an afterthought.
It's a great start, though, for Boot, considering the CT side has been a real struggle for them so far today. Up 5-0, even if they were to lose the rest of this half, sure, that would obviously not be ideal, but they have at least a bit of a platform to play with in the second half when they get onto their T side. But Boot, I think 5 is what they need to make this a competitive map. 6 or 7 is really going to make things look a little bit better for Boot. And that is a fantastic grenade to start things off in this round for Boot Dreamscape. Poem will get dropped to take, putting an interesting weapon to good use, but 2v2, Crow is low, but he's been very good in these clutch situations, and Bas has managed to cross to stairs. Knows the position of Impression, who is again struggling to have a massive impact here on Mirage. Timing works out really nicely for Boot Dreamscape, and again, Ian, it might be just the case of the retake working out. Crow,
12 HP and a dream.
Unfortunately, can't get enough done there. He had almost the timing. But 6-0 is what we're going to see for Boot Dreamscape.
Probably the strongest CT half we've seen tonight from Boot, from either team, really. And it has been fairly convincing so far. SC Absolute really throwing the kitchen sink at Boot so far, just with A execute after A execute. The B rush was foiled quite easily, so we're going to fall off that one. But now the loser bonus comes in for SC, and, well, money won't be a problem going forward should they continue to get the bomb down.
Well, money I don't think is the biggest issue for SC Absolute right now. It's the fact that they only have no rounds on the board at the moment. That's worked out a little bit better than previous history so far on Mirage, and Tommy can't connect a shot with the AWP, but let's get a second opportunity, not a third, however, as Ro2 will shut him down. Splashkey missing the important shot on the cross as well, basically gives him now no chance of winning this round. And Take, he's making it work.
You could see on the X-ray that Splashkey was aiming for the body shot.
Yeah.
And Take just peeking his head over the top of the bricks. Absolute beautiful positioning. And that was a very fast round and a very fast rush. And SC Absolute have absolutely ruined Boot's money. And they're already on an eco just after one round. So hopefully this round they get it over with cleanly. Otherwise, they themselves will be struggling. Poem, fast up connector off a flash. I feel like they're taking middle very quickly right now, and that's something Boot will need to think about going into the next gun round. Benkai, Tommy, they might even go for this. Why not? You're going to buy next round anyway. There's another gun in middle if they want it. No armor will be their only setback.
Doesn't look like there's going to be a contest here from Boot.
I hope Tommy can find that SG.
Got it. But is he going to be able to get out?
Well, if he gets out, just think about the next round with it.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes, he is going to be able to get out. So that's good news indeed for Boot. 2 rifles saved through from a full eco. We'll be pretty pleased with that.
That's the ideal scenario. Now, the money for SC is going to be fine. It's going to be fine for quite a while. But saving on to that SG and the AK, well, that might actually cause some problems. If Tommy can use it wisely over towards that B site. The 1 bullet headshot potential for a counter-terrorist is very deadly. back to the A site, going for that dry walk up on the A ramp. Ro2 will instead find a grenade. Benkai as well, pushing, will find one.
Ro will do his best to open up that B bomb site, but right now, he goes down. That is a big loss for SC Absolute. However, he makes magic happen, finds 2 kills, maybe even a third here. Not going to be the case.
Well,
Splasky will shut him down.
Unfortunately, while he was a great Crow, he was waiting for the murder.
Exactly. And he doesn't have the backup that he needs. That gives Bobasaur the opening to find a kill in mid, brings it back to a 2v2. Take, however, watching a perfect angle, and Bobasaur strafes right into it.
Yep, knife out, happy days. A lot of work here for Splashky, but we've seen what he can do. Oh, you just can't rule him out. Has a flash, couple of flashes and a defuse kit. The AWP going into the next round, though, could be very beneficial for Boot. A reprieve here from SC Absolute. 2 rounds in a row, make it 3 soon. Based off some very fast plays. Again, maybe Boot trying a little bit too hard to force the issue. Dictate the pace.
Maybe. They have a fairly significant number of rounds already on that CT side, so they don't need to get ahead of themselves just yet.
Yeah, exactly. It's not 12 rounds. It's not 10 rounds. It's 6.
Tactical pause out for Boot here, Ian. That's good to hear. Haven't had one this early in the half at all in this series. So give themselves a bit more of time to chat about what they want to do here, potentially deciding if they want to buy into this one. Benkai could get a good buy through. Bobasaur can invest a little bit as well, but I think the better option here is just to say maybe pistols.
Yeah.
See what Splashy can do with that AWP.
Exactly. Definitely get pistols. Splashy's got an AWP. Benkai's got 5k. Throw a couple of P250s the way of Impression and Tommy, maybe even CZ. That's a K down. And then everyone's happy. Everyone will be able to buy in the next round, including Benkai. Splashky, well, he's got a problem. He's bought up some utility. He needs to save again if they are not successful in winning this round. Interesting times. You know, haven't seen much in the way of changes from removing that skybox from Mirage. I feel like it could still do with a facelift. I know it recently got one a while back, but it's just missing something. It's still a great map, but just missing something. That little bit extra.
Well, it's been around in this iteration for quite a while, so...
Yeah, just getting a bit stale, if anything.
So no investment for Boot Dreamscape. Benkai has gone just for the body armor and a UMP to get his money a little bit more back in line with the rest of his team.
Yep.
Unlikely to make much of an impact. Take,
Ooh.
however, does suffer a little bit of damage courtesy of Splashky's AWP. Not enough to result in a kill from that Molotov, but not a bad start for Boot. SC Absolute are going to commit to this B bomb site. Impression with the P250 does unfortunately get flashed at the most inopportune of times. Benkai trying to hold onto the site, but it's Splashky that should be talking about right now. 2 kills with that AWP has now made this one possible for Boot Dreamscape. And SC Absolute slowing things down, trying to deal with that lone player on the site before the rotation does come across. Bobasaur, however, hits a shot with the Deagle, headshot onto Crow. Does drop him, and now Ro2 in the 1v2. Tommy with the AWP in his hands, the secondary AWP for Boot Dreamscape. Just biding his time. Boot Dreamscape know that they don't need to make anything happen just yet. Bobasaur looks like he wants to take a risky peek, however, and that's going to give the opportunity over to the AWP. And it's 1 kill left required here for Ro2. He'll manage to get that one as well. SC Absolute do clutch the round out, but a lot of damage done by Boot Dreamscape in that one.
Yep.
For not very much investment, so you could consider that a success.
Absolutely. It's a good round from both teams. I feel like it was actually a winnable round, more so for Boot than SC Absolute, but Ro2 getting away with murder, constantly peeking into what Boot should have been waiting for, given that the bomb had to be planted by Rita. So another sloppy round goes the way of SC Absolute after some great individual brilliance from really both teams. Now we're going to see a full B execute coming out from SC Absolute. Bomb was dropped in the B halls, but no one playing on short, so much of a muchness. No one's going to hear any noises up there. And this defensive play style coming out from Boot could be their undoing.
Impression is actually going to get away with the Molotov going down. Tank, however, has dropped his sight partner. Impression only gets one. Splashkey, ever solid with the AWP. Does chime in with a frag for himself, but the bomb is still going to go down here for SC Absolute. Well, I say that, but Take is actually just watching the angle, waiting for Boot to make something happen. Biding his time. This is a little interesting for SC Absolute, but they haven't cleared the site properly, so they decide not to plant, and it's actually going to net Take a frag. That patience. Well done from him. Splashkey, great shot, however, onto Poem. Does bring it back to 2v2, and Splashkey has got to be thinking, come on, boys, somebody needs to step up here next to me. It was Benkai on Keish, and now the dynamic duo once again for Boot Dreamscape look to secure another retake.
Oh, that would have been a straight-up duel.
A very, very important frag for him, and that does put Take in a very precarious position now, particularly given the fact that there is an incendiary nade for Benkai. Position known, and Splashkey, of course, hits the shot. Fantastic retake from him. 4 frags. Really dragging Boot Dreamscape, kicking and screaming through some of these rounds.
Yep. And there you go. So Benkai will get an AWP as well as Splashkey. So that's going to be the double AWP for them on the CT side. A full buy should come out from SC, no problems. And, well, now we're looking down the barrel of potentially, if Boot can string a couple together with this double AWP setup, maybe even a 10-5, maybe 11-4. SC Absolute really have only gotten the rounds that they've gotten through sheer economy and brute force, fast speed up this short area. Mid control previously was pretty weak for Boot. And still is.
Much faster from SC Absolute in this round, but Splashkey has absolutely no problems at all. Having a mammoth game here on Mirage, and Benkai chiming in this time as well with 2 for himself. Crow is the last one left alive, stunned, as his entire team is cut down before him. It's a 5v1. Crow has been good in the clutches, but not good enough. Not against Splashkey. 19-6, Ian. Fantastic game from Splashkey. And Boot Dreamscape now have secured 8 on the CT side. Things are starting to look up for them.
Well, we're just going to have to wait and see how good the T side is for Boot. SC Absolute's rounds that they've won on their T side have been, like I said, either anti-ecos or just very fast sheer aggression. And that kind of one-trick pony will only get you so many rounds. Boot are starting to adapt a little bit. And now the money situation for SC Absolute is no bueno.
Oh, well, if one AWP isn't going to get the shot, it's going to be the other. Tommy this time going to be taking the secondary AWP for Boot Dreamscape and opening the round up in their favour. Not much money to play with, though, for SC Absolute, so we're not expecting much in this round. But past this one, SC Absolute are going to really be looking for the last 2 rounds of this half. If they don't get 6, they're going to be on thin ice heading into the second half. Oh, with the AK here, might be the one that can make a difference in this round in particular. Boba saw the aim goes awry, and that allows Poem the opportunity to find a headshot. But hasn't really opened up the A-bomb side enough, and the rotation already has come across from Boot Dreamscape as well. Artillery barrage fired in his direction. Benkai, he's not going to be too pleased with that.
No, that's an uncharacteristic choke from Benkai. You saw Bas needed the entire clip just to get that connection onto his head. Poem has just made so much territory over towards A.
This is starting to look a little dangerous. Tommy with the AWP is being pressured out as well. Spam through the boxes, and Splashkey nowhere to be seen at the moment. 2 AWPs to hold off the 3 players, and that was a crucial miss for Tommy. Splashkey is going to have the world put on his shoulders once again for his side. Needs to make this one happen and can't quite land that headshot. And SC Absolute, they get a 1 for free. Boot will be very disappointed with how that round has turned out. And if it's not the magic from Splashkey, then things do seem to be a little problematic for Boot on this CT side.
Yeah, I think so. And look, this money situation that they're in right now as well is not helping at all. This could even give SC Absolute the 6th round, and hell, even maybe the 7th. It's going to be up to Benkai and Splashkey. Everyone's force bought what they can because they understand if they don't win one of these rounds sooner or later, that they're going to be out of this half altogether now, and that'll be 7 rounds for SC Absolute. Unfortunately, in their desperation, they've given away the first 2 kills, and SC are already up well and truly into the A site, or at least one player is Bass, while the rest of the others are just still culminating towards that T-spawn. Had to recover the bomb, and that's kind of ruined a lot of their momentum. But the full rotate has come through to the A site. And, well, SC Absolute will now have an empty B site. Little do they know at the time.
It shouldn't take them too long to figure that one out, though. As Take is making his way in from short. Everybody else from apartments. And now for Boots. Unless Splashkey somehow, or rather Impression, was expecting to see Splashkey with the orb. If it wasn't Impression to find a frag there, for some reason, there was not really much of a chance for Boots, and they know it. So they've decided that they're just going to hang on to these guns, which is not going to happen. Impression drops to Take, and the chase is on here for SC Absolute. They want to take the guns out of the hands of Boot Dreamscape. Boot will not be able to afford to buy next round. And so these 2 guns, very, very important. Tommy, an aggressive duel. He'll only get 2. What? I thought he was only going to get 1, but it turns into 2. And Tommy somehow has managed to find a way to hold on to that M4. So I suppose that's a small semblance of hope. It'll also allow him to pick up the orb.
They really need that next.
And they really need that orb, don't they?
They need some. Sorry, they really need to take some of these guns into the next round if they're going to have any semblance of a buy.
Got that orb into Splashkey's hands.
Got there in the end.
And a UMP over to Tommy. Oh, no, he's going to grab the FAMAS. UMP will be for Benkai. A very distinct lack of utility for Boot Dreamscape in this round. Couple of defuse kits though, and a couple of smokes, so workable here for Boot. But need to see what the CTs are going to be able to do here. It's aggression into main. Good spray from Bass through the flashbang. We'll let him a frag onto Benkai, and you can see what Boot is trying to do here. They're trying to make something happen, but it doesn't seem like that is really going to work out too well for them. SC Absolute have steamrolled them here. Tommy alone with a FAMAS.
Yeah.
In a 1v5. What are the odds here? What are the odds?
They're not good, mate.
Don't tell me the odds. That's what Tommy reckons right now. Yeah. And he'd be right, because the odds are definitely not in his favour. Boot 8-7 at the end of the half. Might have hoped for some more, but you kind of look at that in the grand scheme of this entire series and you think 8 on the CT side might actually not be a bad shout here. Boot Dreamscape have definitely struggled on the CT side, and they haven't really got more than 5. So it's definitely a step up from what we saw on Inferno, and a step up from what we saw certainly on Cache. Is it going to be enough though? That's the real question heading into this second half.
Yeah, I think, and that's a worthy call, because so far in this series, you'd have to say 8 rounds on the CT side would be enough to net you a win. But on a map like Mirage, I mean, it's fairly even. It goes both ways. And as you just saw, Boot came out fast and hard and really put the defense up strong at the start. But SC Absolute, well, what they were trying to do with their fast executes onto the A site wasn't really working out at all. They really slowed it down, they really sped it up rather, and instead of doing these slow, methodical executes, they just started running in, going for the contact plays, trying to get through before Splashkey could rotate. And that's where they found a lot of their rounds. Bobo was pretty bad underneath balcony at A, you got to say. Didn't put up any resistance towards the A walk-ups. And then the mid control, it was completely non-existent. Impression couldn't do anything on short. So SC Absolute definitely found their niche. Their T side started to work, but it wasn't too late in the half, and that allowed them to get the 7 rounds. Now Boot, we saw how they played Cache, very similar. The fast stuff, it worked, but as soon as it stopped working, well, the wheels fell off.
Question is that enough for either side?
Yeah, I mean, this is like a blank slate. This is like, you might as well have the first half all over again.
And then in that case, then you'd be favouring Boot here. T side has definitely been better for both teams.
Yeah, based on previous, you would say the T side has been where it's at, right? But is that because SC Absolute took too long to get their T side going? Could that be their downfall?
Potentially. 8-7. It's as close as it can get heading into the final half of this series. 1 apiece right now. Boot Dreamscape started off with Inferno, and then SC Absolute answered back with a 16-14 on Cache. Now 1 half left to play. One team will go on to face MVP in the lower bracket final, and one team will unfortunately be knocked out of the IEM Chicago qualifiers. It all comes down to the next 15 rounds of Counter-Strike.
Well, I said whoever wins both pistols wins the map, Jordan.
Boot are the only ones with the opportunity to still do that.
Yep. To prove me right.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw Ben Kai sitting in T-spawn, by the way, I knew we were in for a long one.
Bas is just chilling in Palace there as well. Has gathered quite a bit of information for his side. That has sort of allowed a rotation. Well, not really.
No, they're definitely heavy towards the B side.
Yeah, but it's not a full rotation over there just yet. Poem's having a look as well.
Shit, that's risky from Poem.
Well, yeah.
Considering Bas's position.
The thing is, like, he doesn't see anyone either. So SC Absolute are going, what on earth is happening here on the T side?
Well, now they're thinking it must be a mid to A.
But it's not going to be a mid to A.
No.
It's going to be a mid to B. Well, a B split really is what it is. Take will grab Ben Kai to start things off. Poem can't quite land the headshot, and that is going to be his undoing. Bobasaur does drop him. Bomb down quickly on the site for Boot Dreamscape, and very quickly trying to retake control of short, not allowing Take any potential positioning there. But Ro2 has managed to creep out from market and will catch Tommy off guard, immediately traded by Splashki. And 2v1 once again in a pistol round here for SC Absolute. And Boot Dreamscape, they're going to try and avoid what happened on Cache. That 2v1 that went the way of SC Absolute was potentially the start of their downfall, and potentially could be the start of their downfall again here, but the timer is running out, and it looks like it's going to be impossible for Bas to get anything done. Good shot hit by Splashki there as well to put the nail in the coffin, and Boot have won both the pistols, Ian, and now...
Well, let's see.
They're going to prove you correct. They just need to win this map.
Let's see if my vision can come to fruition. I expect the force buy, no less, coming out from SC. And I expect some sort of trouble in preventing it from winning from Boot. Mac 10s, no MP5.
I will say, I think Boot have been a little bit better on their anti
today, of course.
Yesterday.
Yeah, well, hard to be worse, right?
So that's true. Not far from the truth, at least. Tommy, very quick up into connector with that Mac 10. Wants to get involved in the action, spamming away, pre-firing the cutout at stairs. Still has 17 shots to work with here, so he'll be the one to lead the charge for Boot Dreamscape, but does start to run out moments. And Crow comes out from the firebox at the perfect time. Bas on the flank with an AK, steps up big, and we talked about it. Those anti-ecos, the problem sometimes for Boot Dreamscape leaves Splashki in a 1v1. He's gotten across to Sandwich, but Bas is well aware and will hit the headshot. 4 kills for him. And SC Absolute, they get another one. Boot Dreamscape, it just... How?
Hashtag.
At the worst times, Boot Dreamscape, they find a way to lose the round.
Hashtag AgeofCS. Every time we see an eco win, a 5-7. You know, it's not even the CZ anymore. It's like people are back on the 5-7 train.
Yeah.
And Boot just can't seem to concrete deal with anti-eco situations.
Definitely not, but SC Absolute, their anti-eco looking a little bit better.
They had one job, Jordan. They won both pistols.
Yep. Don't know what to say, Ian, but look, it's not the end of the world for Boot.
Well, they won't be on my KBBQ invite list anytime soon.
No. Well, for that to be the case, they would have to qualify for something here in Sydney.
Or we could go over there.
Go to Singapore?
Yeah.
Don't know how many CS events are going to be in Singapore in the immediate future. Maybe Malaysia.
What do you know that we don't?
Nothing. Unfortunately.
Here are the leaks. Get on Reddit. Something's happening in Malaysia.
No.
Oh yeah. Oh, now you're trying to cover up your mistake. And speaking of mistakes, maybe going mid through that smoke. Rita, very Ricky-esque. Tapping away through the smoke in middle with a silenced M4. Yep. Bobo just doing Bobo things.
Trying to get a knife kill?
Yep.
I'm not sure.
Would be great for the economy.
Would have.
Splashki is on 25 for 10. Closest is Tommy. And then closest to them is Benkai on 10. 25, 18, and then 10. So the rest of the boys, you've been here for 20 rounds almost now. Let's get it together, shall we? Mid control from SZ. Could be devastating for Boot. They're not really set up to counter 4 players in middle. 1 for 1.
Not too bad for Boot.
Well, I lean towards the T side. I lean.
Never heard of it. A site completely open right now for Boot Dreamscape. If only they knew. Crow is under pressure as well, but does get out. There was a gun in the hands of Impression there. He would have gone down. Pom has taken a tag from the AWP through the wall there. So things are looking okay for Boot Dreamscape. They've done a lot of damage.
A is completely empty.
And they're aware that A is empty.
Are they aware?
Almost aware.
What is SC Absolute doing? Are they ready for the save? Is that what they're readying for? This is quite interesting. Going for the full retake on A, perhaps. Well, they're going to have to.
Not sure I'd be too keen for a full retake on A with the amount of HP that they've got.
Push through the smoke with your AWP. That was foolish indeed. Splashkey punishes them. Benkai punishes them. We're back, boys.
Back for 1 round, but how many more? That's the question.
It depends how quickly SC need to eco or force buy.
Boot's form is kind of like a wave.
Yeah.
For a couple of rounds, they'll be really good. They'll be hitting their peak, and then straight away it falls off a cliff.
Yep.
Back down into that trough. But 10 apiece is where we're at, so still things are quite close.
You'd have to say Boot are their own worst enemy at times.
Certainly, certainly.
Money is still good for SZ. Guns should be dropped left, right, and center. Everyone should be happy by the end. Poem will, well, what would you say? Unselfishly be on the MP9, despite having enough money across the board for better. Instead, we're going to have Tark with the AUG. Splashkey setting himself up for a mid pick. 3 players here. Mid control coming out late from Poem. Doesn't get penalized. Rita really wanting a pick in mid.
Oh, Impression. Takes a big chunk of damage, and Poem gets the better of Benkai as well.
With an MP9, no less. Stunning.
Boot just can't seem to string 2 together.
Well, they just take so many risks. There's no slow, methodical clearance. Picks.
It's again going to be the case for Splash as he jumps straight out onto the B bomb site. Crow is looking for him.
They won't check this.
Bobasaur's got no idea. Neither does Splashkey. So that's a free kill for Crow. Bobasaur does get the trade. Good work from him.
Great timing by Crow as well, considering Tommy coming up short.
Oh, it's all happening at the moment on the B bomb site. Fast is going to go down to Tommy. Does he know the position of Poem?
Oh.
Certainly not.
Look, this is a tough one for both players now. Tommy has no idea where Poem is, only where he can be. And sometimes B-apps late in the round can be an afterthought. Poem hasn't really done anything to make Tommy think it is B-apps, except take a marginally long time to rotate toward the bomb site.
Oh, he's still not rotated to the bomb site at all. He's going to A, and that actually might be a masterstroke as Tommy
Well, even better is
on
that's
the move.
exactly where Poem is. So it
Oh.
might be just undoing himself here with a bit of overthinking.
Nope, he's going to plant in the smoke by the looks of things here, so
He'll still go to checkers, I believe, and that's where Poem will catch him off guard.
maybe.
Oh,
Always going to
bench.
bench, yeah.
Ugh.
Well, they say a bench might be a good place to write a poem.
Really? Is that what they say?
That's what they say.
I've never read that or heard that anywhere.
Let's see what Poem can do here. He's only got
But have
a
you heard
very
of the
slim
Tommy
amount
gun?
of HP. No, I haven't. Apparently. I told you, the bench was a good place to write a poem. And Poem's going to clutch it out, 11 to 10. Oh, God.
Wow.
It just never ends, does it?
I don't know.
It's backwards and forwards, up and down,
You
black and
say
white, left and right.
You say Boots T side or Boots game is like a wave.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even go that far. I'd say it's a seesaw. A wave would indicate some sort of
Semblance of normalcy.
a median.
Pattern.
A seesaw is just one way or the other. And that's how I feel it is right now. Splashkey gets into the site, doesn't really clear short properly. And they get penalized. But again, here we go, back and forth. Poem now wants to be an AWPer, goes towards middle, gets penalized. 4 versus 5, you'd think. Almost in the bag.
You would think.
No, come on, Tark. Really, you're going to push through another smoke?
He might just do it.
Well.
Decides better of it for now. But has the backup of Crow. This looks like it's going to be a pop flash in for Tank. And
2 players on A, 2 players on B. Impression unnecessarily takes that one Evens it up, 4-on-4. Inaction now from Boot, really going to be their devil. It's going to cost them everything. This A site should be heavily reinforced. Easily read. Middle players not doing anything. Hesitant. Indecisive. Everything that's bad on a T side in Counter-Strike.
Oh. Benkai gives away a free kill to Bass as well.
Oh, now we want to go.
Bass is going to have a very free time of defending that bomb. It's fallen perfectly for him, and Splashkey again is thinking, guys, come on. How many kills do I need to get in this game?
If waiting for a teammate to die is the catalyst for your attack onto a bomb site, y'all doing it wrong.
All this with no Laz for SC Absolute.
No Laz indeed.
Boot Dreamscape.
Lazarus? Where
art thou?
Yeah, well, we were on the same wavelength. We weren't exactly finishing my sentences.
Oh, was I supposed to finish
you
that one?
cuck, you know you were.
Well, Crow and the rest of SC Absolute are going to have a free farm on short. Boot Dreamscape, it's starting to look a little bit too close for comfort now at 13-10. SC Absolute are very close to closing. Map number 3 out. Completing the reverse sweep here.
Yep. Always good to see a reverse sweep. But the boys on Boot, they're definitely behind the 8 ball here. They've lost something. They've lost their magic, their spark. And SC Absolute really just running at them and getting them like that.
Yeah, you can see SC Absolute now have the confidence to start taking these aggressive duels, and that could be a bad sign for Boot.
Oh, nothing worse than a confident team.
Already spoken and how many times about when someone throws something a little bit out there against Boot Dreamscape, things kind of start to fall apart.
Yeah, because
that's what SC Absolute is starting to do now.
I call it, you know, crossing your T's and dotting your I's, and that's not what Boot do to set rounds up. They just go straight into a round. It's strat roulette, and it's hard to watch. Great when it works. But when they come up against an opposition like SC Absolute, who perhaps just do whatever they want, whenever they feel like it, well, they're going to clash, aren't they? Bomb down in B apps. 4 versus 3.
Oh, Splashkey through the smoke. Take needed to back off just a little bit there, but Ro2 does have the chance to get a second shot across with that orb. So if it's not going to be Take, it will be Ro2 to shut down the round.
Well,
3 great kills.
No, lads, no problems. Here we go. This is looking like an SZ map now. There's just no way I can see Boot coming back into this. 32 frags for Splashkey, carrying the team across the line. 32 frags.
Not across the line, Ian. He's carrying the team, but not across the line.
He's trying to. 32 frags in 24 rounds. Can you believe that?
I can. What I can't believe is how this map is actually going. 14-10, Boot Dreamscape. What on earth has happened here?
Oh, three-player Palace push coming out from SC Absolute. That's a throw and a half.
Take's just bouncing around on the A bomb side as well. Maybe there is another chapter yet untold for this one. Poem, however, not much for writing books.
Crikey, he's at it again.
Splashkey, how many times can he do it?
What is it? What's bigger than a splash, Jordan? I think we're beyond a splash now.
Not really sure. I'll be honest. But Splashkey has gone down. Bass will get a nice spray across onto Tommy. And that saves the round, potentially, for SC Absolute here. Certainly makes it look better.
I mean, I wouldn't check there either, guys.
Bulbasaur.
Yeah. The unlikely hero?
No, not this time.
No.
15-10 is up. Boot at least have money to buy.
Well, I guess that's the only silver lining I can see coming out of this. Boot will be very disappointed. If SC Absolute are now able to match it without Laz, if they're able to match Boot online in a qualifier, well, you've got to ask questions. Boot were the top of the region for so long, qualifying for so many events. And now they're having struggles topping SZ without Laz.
Yeah, in the second round of the lower bracket as well.
Twice. They lost to them in the upper bracket, and now they're going to lose to them again.
Certainly looks like it. Bas is on and off angle here. Bulbasaur with the bomb. If Bulbasaur goes down, pushing into the A bomb site, that's going to be it said and done. Palm gets the kill onto Tommy, but still no push just yet. Out from Bulbasaur. Perhaps he did spot Bas. But take, look at this flank going into mid. Impression heard him and is able to get the frag. There's still a chance yet here for Boot Dreamscape. 3 versus 3. And no one on B right now for SC Absolute. The rotation out for Boot.
It's not looking good. 3-on-3, I think, benefits the CTs, but a 3-on-2, well, Crow is going to have to stand up. Otherwise, Boot will prolong the end of this match just by 1 round, perhaps, maybe 2.
Oh, did he get a sneak peek?
I think perhaps.
If not that, he might have heard. Bulbasaur will go down. Crow gets 2. And that'll be enough to put it into a 1v1. Bas, is he going to be able to do it again? Benkai, is he going to be able to do it this time?
Would you ever expect Bas to be coming T-spawn?
Maybe if he runs, but I don't think he's made enough noise. Benkai will go down, and SC Absolute knock Boot Dreamscape out of the IEM Chicago qualifiers. 2-1 in the first round, and 2-1 now in the second round of the lower bracket. A very, very poor showing.
This was
Boot
much
Dreamscape.
more convincing than the upper bracket game.
Definitely.
So the wheels have definitely fallen off Boot Dreamscape. Back to the drawing board, boys. You're going to have to put some hard yards in because the way you're playing right now, it's just not good enough.
Unfortunately for Boot Dreamscape, that's the end of their run here in the IEM Chicago qualifiers. We'll take a look at the bracket and update you as to what's coming up next and what has come to pass in these qualifiers. Twice now, Boot Dreamscape have lost 2-1 against SC Absolute, and it must be a tough pill to swallow, but they are now done, along with the rest of those teams that have lost in the lower bracket there. But SC Absolute, they do progress on forward and will now face MVP PK.
Yep.
That's going to be coming up next. A very difficult game for SC Absolute, and we still have to remember they don't have Laz. While they've gotten the win there over Boot Dreamscape, I do feel as though MVP PK is another beast in and of itself, and even past that, Flash Gaming awaits the map advantage in the grand final.
Jeez.
And that potentially could be the undoing for both MVP PK and SC Absolute.
Well, I remember the SC Absolute MVP match last time we casted it, and it was an nail biter. MVP, Banana Control, Inferno, we're going to see it all again. The head scratching.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a real slog from here on in, I think.
It definitely is going to be, perhaps for both of these two teams, MVP and SC Absolute. That's what we're watching next, guys, so don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, but that next match, the lower bracket final, is going to be coming up very soon. Stay tuned.
All eyes are on you, so give them greatness with Intel Extreme Masters certified PCs and notebooks and game like the pros. When you see the unique IEM certified stickers on the outside, you'll find high-grade components with Intel Core i5 and i7 processors inside. Every purchase includes in-game content and supports the prize pool of Intel Extreme Masters. Game like a pro, because the world is watching.
If you've been waiting for a sign to quit cable, here's one.
It came from the toaster.
Now you can quit cable.
Switch to DirecTV for #1 rated customer satisfaction over cable. More for your quitting cable thing. That's our thing. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
The synergy of brute strength. Born of elite core power. To thrive under pressure. In the most hostile conditions. And built to overclock. Prepare for combat. Go forth and conquer.
I've been there since the beginning. Every map, every frag, every moment. I run, but I never hide. With knowledge comes power, and power is to be wielded wisely. Which is why, as the expert, I bet with Betway. If you know CSGO, then you'll know the best way to bet on esports is with Betway, for the love of the game.
My God, that is absolutely stunning! run from JW. They know where he is, but JW's quick. Certainly onto it now. Guardian tapped. It doesn't matter. JW's earned it, and in incredible fashion.
One city. One stage. One trophy. One champion.
And another kill to find Fallen.
One moment. ESL 1 New York 2018.